welcome back. We're at the couch area today, so you know it's going to be a chatty, more casual video today. So today we are doing a Q&A. I asked you guys to send me some questions. I also went through, you guys asked me a lot of questions on other videos, and I can never always get to answer them in depth or in time. So a lot of these questions are going to be from past videos, as well as some things that you guys have asked me recently. So you guys know the drill. Let's dive in. I have my laptop, so you see me looking this way. That's why, just because I have them all compiled here. This first question says, I'm a new subscriber. Thank you for subscribing. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm a little intimidated with the sketching aspect of this job. Do you have tips on how to navigate with no arts background? Twofold. One thing I would say is that you do not need to know how to draw to be a designer, a UX designer. Let me specify. You do not need to know how to draw to be a UI UX designer. You need to know how to draw shapes, how to get your ideas across. You are not going to be an artist as you're sketching at wireframes. The whole point of sketching in wireframe is to get ideas onto paper quickly. You're not going in there and perfecting it on paper. So don't worry about not having art skills, drawing skills. You guys have seen some of my wireframes. They're okay. I can, sketch. You have to know how to draw. You just got to know how to draw boxes, lines, little symbols for icons. You'll be good to go. An arts background, also not required. It's almost like the visual part of being a UX designer is so minor compared to some of the other things that you're going to have to do. I never worry about is my wireframe going to be, up to par? I'm more worried about, am I solving the right problem? Is what I'm doing going to improve our current customers' experience, their current journey? That's the kind of stuff that I think about and I worry about, not about the arts. So if you don't have an arts background, great. It doesn't even matter. It's not a big deal. Next question is, where did you learn and do you feel fulfilled in your job? I mentioned before, I went through Springboard for my boot camp. I haven't mentioned this recently, but there's a link down in my description box, is what I'm trying to say. There's a link down in my description box where you can get $1,000 off any of the courses if you're not just into UX UI. They've got all their other kinds of things too. The link down in my description gets you $1,000 off. Check it out, guys. Like I mentioned, Springboard is one of the boot camps that I always recommend to you guys. So there's that. And then do you feel fulfilled in my job? This is an interesting one because I would say yes. Because I feel like the work that I'm doing is actually impacting people in a way that it was not in interior design. Like I've said here on before, and I haven't said this in a while, but my kind of UX motto is that I want to help businesses do better business. So whether that's small businesses, SMBs, or is it larger enterprise, I want to be able to work on software, work on tools that's going to help somebody run their business. And it's always kind of been my MO. And I feel like my current job, what we work on, who we serve is really people that are trying to make a difference in their businesses. And so I just really like that. I feel like what I'm doing is making an effort, and that's why I try really hard to make sure that the designs that I'm doing are going to be useful for people and not just another feature. So yeah, overall, I feel really fulfilled in my job. It's a good feeling knowing that what you're doing is impacting people. Is Denver a big tech city? I'm thinking about moving here. Want to know your thoughts. Denver is not a big tech city. It's not a tech city though. There are a lot of companies that have started in the Denver, Boulder metro area. I actually want to see a list. Some of these are not tech related, but Crocs, I didn't know that. Noodles and Company, didn't know that. Remax, Ibotta's a big one. Otterbox, I did know that. Guild Education, that's another one. I've met a few people that have worked there, and I designed their office back in my interior design life. So there are, as I read off that list, a lot of places, a lot of tech companies that have started up. There's lots of startups in Denver. It's not nearly on the level of, obviously, a San Francisco, not even a Seattle. I don't even know what the DC tech scene is. So it's Denver's a mid-sized city. So it's kind of a mid-sized tech scene, I would say. And if you're thinking of moving here, get ready for the cold, because that is what I'm dreading. Like, I love fall, I love Halloween, as you guys can see, but that's not related to tech. But honestly, I do think there are a lot of good startups here, and the cost of living is high. So I'm not sure where you're coming from, where you're thinking of moving from. Just keep that in mind. And honestly, I would recommend it. If you want to move to Denver, lots of people do. Come on over. We're happy to have you. So what I'd say about that. Should I learn UI or UX design first? I would say learn both. I would not, if your goal is to be a UX designer, and I say UX design, guys, I include UI under that umbrella. I don't separate the two, because that's just kind of how I learned it when I was going through my boot camp. That's how at work we're kind of addressed that way. Like, we're both. So it's just, UX is just kind of an easier umbrella to stick everything under. I would learn both at the same time, because let's say you are learning just UI, you design this really cool landing page, but let's say it's a little too cool and they don't know how to navigate this to, let's say, select an item or look at different products. If you don't have a good experience, nobody's going to use it. No matter how pretty it is, nobody's going to use it. Because, guys, it's like on the flip side. You can have a really crappy, ugly ass website, but people probably still use it if it gets the goal achieved, if it gets them where they need to go. So that is why I say you have to learn both if you're going to be a UX designer. If you're strictly going to be just UI, maybe that's a little bit more in the graphic design space. Sure, but I just don't I don't foresee a situation where it would be advantageous to just be the one. So yeah, that's what I would say. Learn both if you can. This is a book question, so my fave. What is your favorite book you've read so far this year? Okay, not that tough of a question, actually. I have read, how many books have I read this year? So not counting my October reads, because I'm not through October yet, I have read 22 books this year. And out of those 22, there are 2 that I cannot stop thinking about. One of them I've already talked about before, is Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. Guys, this book, I don't even have it on my bookshelf. My bookshelf is up here. I don't even have it on my bookshelf anymore, guys, because I have loaned it out to so many people. Honestly, one of my favorite books. My favorite romance book of the year, for sure. I just love the characters and the development of the characters. The story is obviously cute too, but the people themselves, I am just like, oh, God, I love it so much. And the other book that I have just freshly read, and I'm curious if this will stay one of my favorite books of the year come the end of the year, is The Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. Yarros, I believe is how you say her name. All of the rage on the fantasy book talk. And I used to be a really big fantasy reader, guys. Like, the last time I really loved a fantasy series was the Ember and the Ashes series by Sabaa Tahir. Loved that series. And this Fourth Wing book reminded me a lot of that. And I think that's why I was able to really get into it. The world building was really easy. I think I kind of I'm leaned all the way into the hype, guys. The next book is coming out in a couple weeks. Me and some friends, we're going to the midnight release party. Like, I'm just here for the hype, a book hype. It's been a while since there's been like a good book hype. Like, not that this is Harry Potter God tier level, but that same kind of excitedness around books. So I'm really looking forward to that. Another video scheduled where I'm going to talk about all of my fall TBRs, because at the start of September, I did a video, I'll get here somewhere, where I talked about all the things that I want to read this fall. And I'm happy to say I've made some really good progress. So that'll be the next video where I dive more into that. But my favorite books that I've read so far have been those 2. Okay, guys, thank you for all your great questions, as always. Keep them coming. I love answering in the comments when I can, or I like to gather them all in a Q&A style like this. So hopefully this was insightful for you guys. We did touch a lot about UX in my kind of day-to-day life. Check out this video here where I go over more specifically about UX design, as well as the type of meetings that I'm in, when I get asked, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys over in that one.